everyone, it is me, Demetra K of the Demetra K Show here on YouTube, and a proud contributor of the African Diaspora News channel and the African Diaspora News Insider. If you could do me a favor and subscribe to all channels and most definitely like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. So, just the other day, we learned that an informant on his deathbed, which was his deathbed confession, confessed to being instrumental in the assassination of Malcolm X. Now, today, being the 21st of February, makes the 56th year since Malcolm X was assassinated. And this particular FBI agent was a black man by the name of Ray Woods, was recruited by the FBI in the 60s to infiltrate that of black organizations, and one of those organizations was the Nation of Islam, NOI, as most of you know it, and the Black Liberation Movement. And he confessed to setting up the events of two people. One of them was Afeni Shakur, that of Tupac, his mother. He actually was born in prison because his mother was locked up due to the activities of Ray Moore, the said FBI agent, and Ray Moore, the FBI agent, was responsible for removing Malcolm X's security detail on February 21st, 1965, when he was murdered at the Abadan in New York, there in Harlem. And so what he would do also is infiltrate these organizations and get some of the members to participate in felonious acts. And things like that. And so on that particular day that Malcolm X was murdered, his normal security detail that would watch him like a hawk and make sure that nothing happened to him was set up on some phony charges, and therefore that removed Malcolm X's protection. And then you guys know the story that he was gunned down there in that ballroom, that auditorium room. And so he, being Ray Moore, I'm sorry, not Ray Moore, but Ray Woods. Ray Woods thought he was going to die in 2010. Thought he was going to die, and so he penned a confession to Reggie Woods. That was the man that stood there at the press conference and read the letter. He penned the letter to his father because he thought he was going to die of stomach cancer, and so he didn't want to take that to his grave, that he was instrumental in the murder of Malcolm X. He basically saying that it was two FBI agents that were posing as the Fruit of Islam and murdered Malcolm X. And so he didn't want to take that to his grave again. And so he penned his letter, but he said not to release the letter and the information until he died. So again, he had stomach cancer in 2010. He ended up going into remission, and he lived until November 2020. And then now, the day before the 56th anniversary of Malcolm's death, this press conference that was held, sponsored, I guess, if you will, by Benjamin Crump. You guys know Benjamin Crump. He's a civil rights attorney who has been on almost every national case of police brutality of black people since that of Trayvon Martin. And so that is huge, because you guys all know that a lot of people, especially the Nation of Islam, has been blamed for the murder of Malcolm X. Farrakhan has, always been pinned with being the orchestrator of that, which he's vehemently denied. There's been so much evidence saying that he had nothing to do with the murder of Malcolm X. And so, of course, a lot more, yes, is going to come out. Now, also at the meeting, Malcolm X's three daughters were there, and they were given a copy of the letter. And it should also be said, too, that Reggie Woods, the cousin of the informant, he penned a book, I guess, to really detail the events of what his cousin, the informant, had told him. And so within this press conference, Ben Crump called, which I thought was really weird, but he likened Malcolm and together with the Black Lives Matter movement. He says he was Black Lives Matter. I'm not really for sure what that was about. He also called him a civil rights leader, and we know that Malcolm X was not a civil rights leader. Malcolm X was a human rights leader, because we also heard him say plenty of times that there is no such thing as civil rights until we as black people have human rights. And we know, even to this day, we are not really considered human. And so he was a human rights leader. And so, I don't know if that was what Ben Crump was on. It's kind of hard to say. A lot of things that Ben Crump has suspect motives, and so we'll just leave it at that for now and wait to see what else unfolds from this revelation of, again, Ray Moore, an FBI agent. He was an informant, and again, he had no training. Okay, he was not trained at all, as a lot of those FBI agents, black FBI agents, were used to infiltrate black organizations. You guys also know the Agent 800 with Marcus Garvey and the UNIA. He was used, a black man, to infiltrate the UNIA of Marcus Garvey. And of course, Chairman Fred Hampton, William O'Neill was used to infiltrate the Black Panther Party there in Chicago. And you guys, of course, have seen the movie Judas and the Messiah. And even if you haven't seen the movie, you know the story of what happened to Fred Hampton under an untrained FBI informant. Usually those informants were in trouble legally of something they did. And so in order to escape punishment, they would sell out their own people and completely undo whole movements. And so you guys keep your eyes out for that story to unfold and see what else is going to come from it. And we'll keep you informed here if anything else develops in regards to that story. But you guys, I don't want to say it was a jaw dropper, because most of us who studied that of Malcolm X, we already knew the FBI was involved. But, you know, the implication that Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam were guilty of his murder, that was nonsense. Even if, you know, you did your research, right? Not the Hollywood research. A lot of people were saying, oh, I saw the Netflix movie, and Netflix, okay, Hollywood also told us that Cleopatra was white too, right? So come on. Anyway, and then remember, they wanted Julia Roberts to play Harriet Tubman. So you talking about that Hollywood? That's the Hollywood that told the story of Malcolm X. And then also, you know, just in closing, since it's, you know, the 56th anniversary of Malcolm's death, TNT, a white-owned TV station, was playing the Malcolm X movie by Spike Lee. And, you know, obviously in commemoration of his assassination, if you will. But I was like, now, when Malcolm was around, they called him everything but a child of God. He was a hate leader, the hate speech. He was violent. He was this, that, and the other. And now all of a sudden, white people are celebrating him. Doesn't it make you wonder? Because he's not a threat anymore. So now, you know, people are free to celebrate Malcolm. So it's like, come on, let's be wise. Let's not look to Hollywood to validate things that go on in our community. We know that's not their goal, is to give us validation, pure validation anyway, right? So let's be wise. So for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra K Show, here on YouTube. Peace.